Set the drummer to the side. Let the petty be fried. It will be alright. Alright. Set that drummer to the side. Let the petty be fried. Black negative from your mind. It will be alright. Don't let them people come and hide. Gotta swallow your pride. Look at what peace provides. It will be alright. Set that drama to the side. Let the petty be fried. Black negative from your mind. It will be alright. Don't let them people come and hide. Gotta swallow your pride. Look at what peace provides. It will be alright. In my whipping, I'm dipping. I'm on a celebration mission. Windows down, music bumping. No room for the tripping. I hit the stove for a brisk and a package of swishers. Yeah, like we always do about this time. My name is Cornbread Capone. I'd like to welcome y'all back to Unpopular Honesty, the home of brutal honesty and real hip hop music. Today, we're gonna have another hard conversation. And that conversation will be about accountability. Accountability is one of the things that is missing in this world today. We're gonna get deep on y'all. We're gonna get real serious on y'all. The lack of accountability is fucking the world up fast. If we had accountability, delusion would not exist. If we had accountability, inflated egos would not exist. If we had accountability, no one would be confused in the position that they are in anywhere in life. It would be clear. Lack of accountability I believe that the lack of accountability that is screwing the world up is a constant reminder of what we need in this world today. A lot of people are not honest with themselves. You have this culture that's going on right now within the black community that promotes a lot of toxic behavior, a lot of ignorant behavior, and it's cheered on every day, whether it's a joke or whether it's reality. It's cheered on every day. But ask yourself this question, because social media has become commonplace for toxic and negative, ignorant themes, things, sayings, videos, quotes, all kinds of stuff. Ask yourself this. They do all these dumbass challenges that don't mean nothing at the end of the day. But you never seen the black community engage in a challenge that is intellectual, that could teach people something, that can turn into some news that somebody can use to better themselves. You don't see that. In the black community. And I'm speaking about the black community because I am a part of the black community and I live in a black community. The reality is, in our community, whatever's negative, whatever is toxic is cheered on. And whatever is positive is downplayed. Do you know that we are living in an era where black women will look at a black man with a regular job and say that he's not good enough? Do you know that we live in a delusional world where black women who are not blessed with the best looks, overweight, sloppy, just a total eyesore, yet they have standards higher than supermodels? That's a problem, because that underlines the delusion and that knocks out accountability. Because I'm from an era where if you was pretty, you had pretty privilege, and that's how it went. If you were not pretty, you knew what lane you stuck in. You know you didn't qualify for this type of man because you don't look nothing like the girls on his radar. Now let's flip it. You have a lot of black men today who are, by a lot of people's standards, not the consideration or even a contender to be a man. These are the ones that normally talk loud. They the loudest ones in the room. They always got something to say. I come from the era where men were men. We wore pants on our waist. To aggravate the older people in our day, we would sag our pants a little bit. But our shirts was always over our pants, so you never saw us sagging. We didn't advertise our ass. We didn't show the world our boxers. And that's the difference. A lot of these black men today run around wearing their hair like women, exhibiting mannerisms of a woman. Hell, even some of them are wearing these hoochie daddy shorts and wearing a purse. If you came up in my era and you came outside with some shorts on that didn't go to your knees, you got your ass whooped. If you came outside and the people outside looked at you funny as if you were a soft individual, it was a chance that you was gonna get into a fight. There was no such thing as men wearing purses when I was coming up. That was definitely grounds for you getting your ass whooped. Then again, it was a lot of things that happened in my era that does not happen in this one. My era had accountability. My era had real men. Real men who not only provided for their households, but were positive examples to the children around them who were coming up. Today you have a lot of black men who put more pride and credence into money. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of people It's a lot of hoe ass niggas out there with money. Money comes and goes. And when you die, they not gonna bury none of that money with you. People go to line of disrespecting someone is to call them broke. Certain people, if you're around and you're out and about in the mix, you'll hear this a lot. You'll hear somebody else call somebody broke. Almost daily. Now, a lot of times, this is coming from somebody who does not know the ins and outs of this individual's bank or financial standings. It's just a statement made based on surface value. He might not be the best dressed, so people assume that he's broke. She might not be the best dressed, so people assume she's broke. Let me tell you something. The people with money don't always wear their money. There are wealthy people in the world who dress like homeless people. And they do that for a reason. You always know when a nigga got money. Because what does he do? He's gonna go get some gold teeth. He's gonna get some big chains. Oh, you can't forget about that expensive ass car. He's gonna go get himself some Jordans. He's gonna go get himself some expensive designer clothing. And then what he gonna do? He gonna hit the liquor store, grab some liquor, and go to the club. Because that's the main stage. To show off. To show out. To show up and pull up. And going to the club with all this expensive stuff on, showing off, capping, showing your teeth, taking pictures, making videos, just showing off. And they wonder why people who are not black look at them and say, look at these dumb motherfuckers. The real wealth is land ownership. Not fancy cars and jewelry that don't mean shit after you get it. That's the truth. Nobody wants to tell the truth. In these days and time, the lie seems more entertaining, and the truth sounds bland and boring to a lot of people. If you ask me, majority of the population has subscribed to the lie. There's only a small percentage of people who know truth. Only a small percentage. Accountability is what's needed across the board. It has to start with somebody. I feel like it should start with the adults because we're old enough to understand that. And believe me, I'm not going to sit up here and make it seem as if I'm holier than thou or if I'm better than anybody, because I'm not. And I wasn't always accountable. There was some times back in the day where I could look back and I did some things or said some things and I was like, ooh, that was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like I am not a saint. I am not immune from anything that I'm talking about. At one time, I was not an accountable individual. But right now, I am. And I look at the world every day. And I say, boy, accountability is fucking the world off. Because nobody wants to take accountability for the things that they do, for the part that they played in society's destruction. Now, I've heard that, and it was said by certain people over the years, that my generation did not speak to the younger generation and give them game. And there's a lot of factors that played into that. You got to realize that a large part of my generation was incarcerated. So a lot of game that they would have got from the uncles, the fathers, the big brothers, the big cousins, a lot of black men were not there because they were incarcerated. So now you have a whole generation of kids who grew up probably with, I don't know if some of them had father figures, a lot of them did not, only had single mothers. And they get up and they grow older. And they run around with that same BS that they were taught that was incorrect. And one thing falters, another thing falters. You already had this child, single parent household. Statistics say that child is not going to make it because it's being brought up in a household with just one parent and the father is not there. But the child makes it anyway. Grows up and looks back and says the older generation didn't give the young generation any game. To a certain extent, you can't speak to the young generation, especially now. They don't want to hear nothing. A lot of them already have their minds made up about what it is they're going to do, regardless to what anybody has taught or told them. If adults can seize and understand accountability for ourselves, maybe we can have something good to pass down to the younger generation, because they don't have accountability. They don't have none of the qualities that we got when we grew up. They don't have respect for people, elders. They don't have respect for children. They don't have respect for women. They don't have respect for themselves. They walk around and they listen to this music that says it's okay to kill people that look like them. And will look at you crazy when you tell them that's bullshit. Believe me, it happens to me every day. I don't have no fear when I speak my mind. If you're listening to some music that says it's okay to kill somebody with the same skin complexion as you, and you think that's cool, you're lost. Because guess what? Rap is the only genre of music that brags about killing each other. Yet, these niggas with all these choppers and all these guns and these Dracos and all that shit, these niggas ain't killed a policeman. They ain't killed a Ku Klux Klan member. They ain't killed an Aryan Nation member. They ain't never killed nobody. But they will be fast to down a black man. And that's real. This is the world that we live in now. Rap is the only music where women brag about selling themselves, selling their body for money. Do people care how other people look at them? Some do, some don't. Hell, with the way the artists and entertainers act, it's easy to see how somebody else who is not black could look at us and say, they some fucking clowns. That comes from lack of accountability. See, if we were accountable, none of this bullshit would be going on in the first fucking place. If we were accountable, black men wouldn't be reading at a 4th grade level. Black business would be increased on the incline. You know what I'm saying? Would be on the incline. Yeah, people, you don't want to have that conversation because it's too hard of a conversation. If this world were more accountable, 30 and 40-year-old women would not be talking about hot girl summer. First of all, let me tell you something. If you are over the age of 30 years old and you're a black woman and you're running around here talking about hot girl summer, that's just another way for saying I'm gonna be a hoe. Because when I hear you say that, that's what comes to mind. It's not nothing nice. It's not a goddamn song. And the funny thing is, you got all these girls who listen to Hot Girl Summer. And the people who are singing this are happy and in relationships. Meanwhile, you listening to this music, you're single, trying to find a dude, can't keep one, and you wonder why. It's because of the bullshit you put in between your ears. You see, this is why I say what you listen to is important. Because people are only going to listen to music that they can relate to. And they can either relate to it because, one, they want to live that lifestyle, or two, they're already living that lifestyle. Accountability is not even in a black woman's vocabulary. She don't want to be accountable for the relationships that she wrecked. She don't want to be accountable for the fucked up shit that she do every day. Which is why you got some women who will paint every man out to be a monster. Who will talk down on every man that she has ever dealt with, including the father of her children. Accountability. Lack of accountability fucks the world up every day. If this world were more accountable, there would be laws in place for black people when they get mistreated or when they get killed. You know what's funny? They have laws to protect gay people. You cannot beat up or bully a gay person. You will go to jail. You cannot bully or beat up a transsexual, or you will go to jail. You cannot harass, bully, or beat up an Asian person, or you will go to jail. There's laws in place for that. Now tell me where the laws are in place for black people who get bullied, beat up, shot, and or killed. Don't worry, I'll wait. Because there is none. Accountability is realizing that Will Smith and Chris Rock stayed in the news cycle longer than 10 black people being killed in a grocery store for nothing. Accountability is realizing that a lot of these people that's walking around here talking about they woke are still asleep. Accountability starts with being honest with yourself. I know that there are some people out there who feel like they are perfect. Everything they do is perfect. They never do nothing wrong. Well, let me tell you this. There is not a perfect being walking this planet Earth. Meaning, we all make mistakes. We all have fuck ups. We all have faults. And we all have failures. It's how you choose to overcome those failures. It's how you choose to correct those faults. The first start of that is taking accountability. A lot of people cannot admit when they fucking wrong. It is hard for people to apologize. Just to say, hey, you know what, I did that. I apologize. Will you forgive me? That is tough for people to do. I can be very accountable for what I do, especially if I'm in the wrong. But